Today we are looking at dog breeds in the working group. So we have a few articles here about keeping your dog occupied. Working dogs are bred to have jobs. So when we do have them as pets, we need to make sure that we are also providing them that opportunity to work for us at home. So there's some articles for you about agility and making sure how you can keep your animal occupied at home. So we've got our ID notes set up. We've got our working group. We want to know the name of the breed, health concerns, characteristics of the breed. So then I'm going to go into my Quizlet and I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first dog we're going to look at is a Bernese Mountain Dog. So a Bernese Mountain Dog, they are prone to hip and elbow dysplasia, cancer, bloat due to that large size, right? We talk about bloat being that flipping of your stomach. They do have autoimmune diseases, skin and coat issues, thyroid disorders, von Willebrand's disease, which is a type of anemia, and then different eye disorders because they have that heavier skin around their eyes, kind of pulling that down. They are long-haired and tricolored. Lifespan is short with a Bernese. It's only going to be about 6 to 8 years, again, because we have that large size and also those various health concerns. They are 23 to 26 inches at the withers, and their weight, surprisingly, is a little less than what you might think, is only 80 to 110 pounds. So here is our Bernese Mountain Dog. So you can see that tri-coloring, nice black, and then the brown on the legs and the white sternum area and that rostrum. Next, we have our boxer. So boxers are considered working dogs. They do develop cardiomyopathy, which is heart issues, hypothyroidism, cancers, skin issues, allergies, bloat, and neurologic dysfunction, or they have issues with their brain. Appearance, they are square and built, tight-fitting coat, and they are brachycephalic. So we do need to be mindful of that with our boxers. They can live about 8 to 12 years. If you're lucky, you can get on the 12-year side of things, but generally cancers start to rule their ugly head. They're about 21 to 25 inches at the withers. Their weight is about 65 to 80 pounds. You have a large weight discrepancy between your male and females. And here we have our boxer. This boxer does have a dock tail along with cropped ears. So that cropping of the ears you may not see as often now, but that tail docking is still going to be happening. Because they are a working dog, we crop the tail or dock the tail and crop the ears to minimize risk to our animal. Next, we have our Mastiffs. So, here we go, that lovely wrinkly face. Very large breed dog. So Mastiff, we do have concerns with hip dysplasia, heart conditions, eye disease, because again, you could see all those wrinkles in the face. It pulls down the skin around the eyes. Bloat, bladder stones, cancer. Appearance, we have those massive size. Eyes are set very wide apart and then loose skin. Lifespan, again, is only 6 to 10 years. Size is 27.5 to 30 inches at the withers, and they are very large at 120 to 230 pounds. So here we have that large size again, right? And you can see all the loose skin folds. This is partly where your issues with skin comes from. And one of those reasons the larger dogs, that lifespan is a bit shorter, is because of that growth that they're doing as a puppy. It's actually very hard on your body. So next breed we have is a Doberman Pinscher. So Dobermans, we have cardiomyopathy, von Willebrand's disease, Addison's disease, which is a thyroid condition, and cervical vertebral instability. So they have a fairly long back. so we have some instability with the vertebrae. Appearance, again, we are going to have a docked tail, cropped ears as well. You'll have a solid black coat with light brown muzzle and paws. You will start to see chocolate Doberman Soa as well, so you'll see more of a light brown color. Lifespan is about 10 years. Size is 24 to 28 inches at the withers, and their weight is anywhere from 66 to 100 pounds. Here we have our Doberman. Again, nice docked tail, cropped ears. These dogs are guard dogs, right? So they are guarding the home, so we want to make sure that they're able to get away quickly and not have to worry about their tail or their ears hindering that process. Next, we have our Great Danes. Great Danes are huge, and they're just giant cuddle bears, right? But big health concerns are bloat and cardiomyopathy. We're seeing a theme here with their health risks. Concern, cancer, hypertrophic osteodystrophy. Okay, so hypertrophic osteodystrophy, which is rapid growth in the puppies. So again, that causes bone issues because their growth just their body can't keep up with how fast they grow. Appearance really depends on your breeder for your Great Danes. Sometimes they'll have the ears docked or cropped, and then they'll be erect. Sometimes they'll be full and bent down. They do have a very lean, short coat. So if you do see Danes with cropped ears, they have put a almost a little crown that holds their ears up high, and to crop them so they are standing up erect, versus allowing the Dane to not do anything with the ears, and then the ears will just be floppy. They only live about 7 to 10 years. Size is 20 to 32 inches at the withers. So we're talking a very tall dog. Weight is only about 110 to 190 pounds because they're fairly lean, right? So as tall as they are, they're a fairly lean dog versus that Mastiff that had a very thick kind of abdomen here. So here we have the cropped ears. They do not dock the tails, so Danes do have their tails. Next, we have our Great Pyrenees. So Great Pyrenees have hip dysplasia, health issues, cancers, eye disease, and bloat. Our appearance is very large, medium length, thick, all white coat, small to medium lop ears, and feathering along the limbs and tail. There may be some markings in gray, tan, or reddish brown. Lifespan is about 10 to 12 years for these. Size, again, fairly large at 25 to 32 inches at the withers, and then the weight is 85 to 115 pounds. And here we have our Great Pyrenees. Great Pyrenees will also have 2 dew claws in their back foot. That is another thing that makes it that you can tell a Great Pyrenees when you see one, aside from that lovely white fluffy coat. Next, we have a Newfoundland or Newfoundland. Newfoundlands definitely have joint problems, such as hip dysplasia, heart disease, cystinuria, or kidney defect, which leads to bladder stones. Their coat can be black, brown, gray, or white, and black. Medium length double coat, feathering on limbs, and a full tail. Lifespan is about 8 to 10 years. 26 to 28 inches at the withers, and their weight is 100 to 150 pounds. So here we have that Newfoundland. Kind of almost looks like the Great Pyrenees, but it's black or darker in color, but still fluffy. You have that very large face. Those eyes are more inset, and a very lovely coat. Next, we have a Portuguese water dog. So Portuguese water dogs do love what they say they are, and they love their water. So they've got a waterproof coat. It can be curly or wavy. It's generally black, white or brown, or a combination of black or brown with white. They are prone to hip dysplasia and some genetic eye abnormalities. Lifespan, though, is a little longer on these, 10 to 14 years. Your size, again, we're now a little smaller as well, 17 to 23 inches at the withers, and the weight is about 35 to 60 pounds. So here we have our Portuguese water dog. And next we have our Rottweilers. So our Rottweilers definitely have hip dysplasia. Rots have been overbred, and as with many of these dogs, so that hip dysplasia, before we were able to test for that, breeders weren't aware of how they were able to pass that along. But now we do tests for hip dysplasia, so hopefully we'll start to see that is less and less of an issue, but it is definitely still prevalent. We have eye disease because, again, we have some loose skin in the face, which causes some drooping around the eyes. We have heart problems, von Willebrand's disease. Your appearance is a medium size. The coat is black with that rust color to mahogany markings around the face and distal portion of the legs, similar to what we saw with the Doberman. Lifespan is about 8 to 10 years. Your size is 22 to 27 inches at the withers, and your weight is a bit larger here with 75 to 110 pounds. So here we have our Rottweiler. Right, so we have the brown legs and that black body area. All right. Next, we have our St. Bernard. So roll over Beethoven. So you've got hip dysplasia, cardiomyopathy, osteosarcomas or bone cancer. We'll also see osteosarcomas with our boxers as well. Eye disease, hypothyroidism, and bloat. Our appearance is a very huge head. They can actually have short or long coats. They are white with red markings or red with white markings. Unfortunately, their lifespan is only about 7 to 10 years. Their size is a bit on the larger side at 25.5 to 27.5 inches at the withers. They are a fairly large breed in their weight at 130 to 180 pounds. So here is our St. Bernard. They also grow very quickly. And we can see again that droopiness in the face with those large jowls. So sometimes they will get a surgery to kind of pin that bottom eyelid up. Next, we have our Siberian Husky. So when you guys think about Siberian Huskies, you probably think of very hyper dogs. That's because they're working dogs. So they are prone to hip dysplasia, eye diseases. Their appearance, they have a very dense double coat. They come in all sorts of colors, from black to pure white. Your lifespan is 12 years. Size is about 20 to 23.5 inches. And their weight should be about 35 to 60 pounds. So they are more on the lean, smaller side of things, but they are definitely very hyper and active because they need a job. Next, we have our standard Schnauzer. So Schnauzers, health concerns, hip dysplasia, eye disease, pulmonic stenosis, it's a type of a heart disease, hypothyroidism, hemophilia, and bladder stones. So the Schnauzers are more prone to bladder stones. Appearance, they're going to have a very wiry coat, salt and pepper or black coat, and their ears can be cropped and erect or uncropped and erect or bent. So it really, again, depends on the breed. These are a working group, so with those dogs, we want to have minimal ear damage, right? So we don't want the ears to get in the way of things, which is why we would crop them. Lifespan is about 13 to 15 years, 17.5 to 19.5 inches, and your weight is about 30 to 50 pounds. So your standard Schnauzer is definitely a bit larger. So we have those cropped ears, ducktail right there. And